It's a big, big day in the Premier League. So here are my predictions for each of the Premier League games this Saturday. Kicking off with Everton versus Man United, the lunchtime kickoff. I've got to be honest with you, I fancied Everton in this one. If Man United have still got the squad problems that they had against Tottenham last week, I can't see Man United getting much out of this, considering they've just got kids that are on the bench and they don't even play him. So I'm going for an Everton win here. I think it'll be a tight one, though. I'm going sort of a 1-0 Everton win. I think it'll be tight to begin with, but I think Everton will get one late on. Next up, it is Arsenal versus West Ham. Now, look, I think West Ham have got some talent up front, but they just don't seem to be getting the best out of them players at the moment. I do wonder if Jared Bowen is a little bit rushed coming back. Arsenal, on the other hand, they seem to always find a way, and I think they'll find a way in this one. I think they'll get the job done, but I think it might not always go plain sailing. I'm going to go for an Arsenal win here. I'm going for 2-1. Next up, it is Bournemouth versus Wolves, and I can just see goals, goals, goals. I think there'll be over 2.5, over 3.5, maybe even over 4.5 goals in this one. Both teams to score, I think, is an absolute banker. However, I think Bournemouth are still going to edge this one. I'm going to go for a big high-scoring game. I'm going to go for Bournemouth 3, Wolves 2. Then we've got another London derby in Fulham and Crystal Palace. And I've got to fancy the home team here. I think they're pretty good at Craven Cottage. And I think they'll edge Crystal Palace in a relatively low-scoring one. I think they win this by 2-0. Then it's Ipswich and my beloved Spurs. Spurs away from home. I'm always a little bit suspect whether they actually will get the job done. But I think they will here. I think Spurs have had a week to prepare for this one in comparison to what they had the last time they played Ipswich. Remember Ipswich beat Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Well, I think part of the reason for that is they were travelling to Turkey 3 days before, and I think that was a little bit of a leveller. This time, Tottenham have got a week to prepare. There's no excuses. I think Spurs get the job done. I actually think they might keep another clean sheet. I'm going for Ipswich 0, Tottenham 2. Then next up is a South Coast derby between Southampton and Brighton. And I can only see a Brighton win here. For me, Southampton are just so out of their depth in the Premier League. And Brighton, I think they'll get a comfortable win. I'm going for a 3-0 win for the Seagulls in that one. And the last match is probably the tastiest game of the Saturday fixtures. It's Villa versus Chelsea. I think this is a hard one to call, to believe it or not. Aston Villa, normally good at home, but not always that great when they play a midweek game. They played a midweek game against Liverpool, but they are playing a Chelsea side that are out of form, but have a good record at Villa Park. I'm going to go for a draw. I think it'll be 1-1. Guys, let me know what you think.